When I was young, I always say from about age 7, I really knew that I wanted to be an actor. Because I loved pretending. We grew up in the country, and we pretended from dusk till dawn, and I loved it.
3, 2, 1, go!
All that pretending paid off with a series of unforgettable roles, starting with The World According to Garp.
Jenny Fields was my first role, yes. And I think she was a great character. And from my New England background and from my 2 grandmothers, I had wonderful resource material for her, but I really loved that character. I think she'll always be one of my favorites.
The Big Chill gave her another strong woman to portray.
I feel like we should have had a chair for Alex. Of course, we don't have enough food, but I know this is all so familiar, and I love you all so much. I know that sounds gross, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't.
I feel like I was at my best when I was with you people.
And I learned a lot from that part. I learned that secrets are very important, because she carried around the secret of her affair with Alex, and it was one of her great sorrows. And so, you know, she wasn't presenting everything, and that was very powerful.
But it was Alex in Fatal Attraction that made her an international star.
Alex, I had great empathy for, and I loved her very much. The research that I did in order to just find out why somebody would behave like that made me really love her. I thought she was somebody who was victimized at a very early age, and so yes, I have a very special place in my heart for her.
In Jagged Edge, she fleshed out another complex woman.
I like Teddy Barnes a lot. I think what made me like her was that she, as successful and as brilliant a lawyer she wasn't terribly successful in her private life, and I think that really kind of made me empathize with her.
I need to see your face, Jack. I could have loved you.
As Gertrude in Hamlet, Close had an opportunity to run a gauntlet of emotions from vulnerability to sensuality.
She had 3 men absolutely mesmerized. The ghost of the dead king, Claudius, her husband, and her son. So I thought, this isn't a boring woman. This is a woman of great sensuality and presence.
But Gertrude's presence pales when compared to that of her latest role, Cruella de Vil, in 101 Dalmatians.
I think she is one woman who is a force of nature. I always thought of her as somebody who really, kind of a wind comes into the room when she enters. You know, your hair gets slightly blown back by her. She is a force to contend with, and so she speaks loudly and, you know, bosses people around and expects to have her way.
Catch those puppies!
Well, the first time I saw myself in full Cruella drag was when we had our tests, our screen tests. She definitely was the kind of character that you didn't really feel until you were in full regalia. And it was thrilling. It was really exciting.
I'll pay you twice what they're worth. Come now. I'm being more than generous. £500. £7,500. Yeah? £2 per spot.
Cruella, what would you do with 15 puppies?
Yeah, that's irrelevant, Anita. She can't have any because they're not for sale.
I'm getting very tired of you, Roland.
Roger.
Whatever.
I've wanted to do a movie with Disney since I was 7 years old. I was convinced that if I presented myself to Walt Disney, knocked on his front door, that he would immediately put me in his movies. I've tried to stick closely to my very personal, visceral reactions to material when it's presented to me. And there has to be some kind of intangible challenge or excitement about something. And I think that has a lot to do just where you are at the time, what challenges you. And I'm very lucky, first of all, to have worked with the people I've worked with, because I have learned from them. And I think it's very exciting to realize that you have learned, actually, over the years. your craft, and you've worked with extraordinary people.
I don't really feel comfortable being in competition with my peers. I don't think it's really a question of winning or losing. I think it's just a question of celebrating good work. So I'm happy to be here to celebrate.
You know, I didn't go into this profession thinking that I want to be a star. He's been absolutely wonderful, and I'm very lucky